Welcome back, guys. PPS back here for our morning edition of Pass the Prop. It's a little bright and early here in the Midwest, but we're coming at you guys for another round of our Pass the Prop plays for the day. Joined as always by my guy Monotone. How you doing, my dude?
I'm doing great, a little bit early here, but obviously ready to keep it going with some great player props. It's been a pretty good week for me, so I'm just going to, try to use that momentum to keep it going today.
Yeah, this week's been pretty. I mean, there's been some pretty crazy games here too. There's games that you think would go one way, obviously go another. Walk-offs yesterday in the Cardinals game and stuff like that. So a lot of good games, but a lot of new series starting today. Obviously, the Braves and Mets are a huge series. We got the Padres Dodgers, which is a fun series. It's a good weekend of baseball here if you are looking at like races and stuff. Obviously, 1-2 in both of the divisions out there. So, do really like the slate here for the day, and also just good baseball, right? Obviously, some of these games are going to be good, but might not have any bets in them. But that's the fun part about it too. Is there's so many other games. I think there's 14 games on the docket for the day, so it should be fun. We got Dan here in the chat. Popping in here, Plus Money Bob. Appreciate you guys for popping in this early morning for you guys. We got Jay Wells, as always. Best place to have my coffee. We got coffee for you, coffee for Jake. I got an energy drink here. I got the gym after this, so get all my stuff done, and I'm probably going to start shaking in the middle of this one. So let's get right on into it here. Let's do a quick recap. Obviously, it's a lot more fun to do a recap when we both get to sweep on here. The 30-unit whale, half cash, only cash 15 units on this, but hopefully you're able to get in on that. You get a 0.5 unit and then a 15-unit spot, so 15 and a half units on that. And then I only brought in a measly 2.5 for mine, so I'm only 12 and a half units behind Monotone on last show. But yeah, it's oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we got a guy who's new in here. We did not actually put 30 units on that play, dude. I'm messing around. That was not actually true. It was just a fun thing. But welcome to the show, and hopefully you have fun in the comment section. A lot of good people in there. Before we get started, smash that like button, and let's get right on into our plays here. 4 spots. You guys know how we like to do it on these Fridays. Just getting in, getting out. Let you guys lock all these in. And hopefully getting back-to-back sweeps, which I don't think we've done since football last year. So I think it's going to be a fun one here to go for back-to-back sweeps. So let's do this thing. I will kick it to you first with a play. I really did not expect to see this line anywhere close to this.
Yeah, no, I mean, both of these guys have been good to me. I'm going with DJ LeMahieu and Mookie Betts to both record a hit right here. -112 over on FanDuel right now. I'll start with LeMahieu. He might be my favorite guy to bet on over the last month or so. All his underlying stats, if you go over to Baseball Savant, they're great, right? This guy's in the red in every single stat. But his numbers this season, he was probably sitting around 270 for most of the season, a little bit, below what we're used to. But he's obviously turned it up over these last couple months. Ended July with a 344 average, obviously continuing that so far in August with the 417 average right here. Addition of Benintendi did not shake this guy. He's still cold-blooded right here. He's just been so consistent for me recently, right? We got a good matchup right here against Dakota Hudson, 292 opponent's batting average to right-handed batters this season. He's a contact pitcher. He pitches for that soft contact. I love guys that have similar skill sets to the ones the pitchers use, right? He's a contact pitcher. LeMahieu's one of those guys. He'll hit the ball anywhere in the ballpark. He's not going out there to hit bombs. He's not going out there to try to hit it 400 feet. He'll slap a single wherever you want. And when Hudson, lays down those ground ball pitches, I think DJ LeMahieu's one of those guys that is very well equipped to take advantage of it. Like I said, great month of July right here, continuing that in August. LeMahieu's just been great for us right here. And obviously now we have a good matchup. Only faced Hudson once. I think he's just 1-for-1 against him. So obviously not a huge sample size right there. But I think this is a very good matchup for DJ. Someone I've been riding with a lot this season. As for Mookie Betts, got to get Mookie in there against the lefty. That's just tradition right here, right? I mean, obviously the splits kind of speak for themselves this season, but a very impressive 310 batting average versus left-handed pitching. And he's seen Manaea a good amount, right? 7 for 19 in his career with 4 extra base hits. So not only do we have that good, recent form, right? He's coming and playing well, got the 310 versus left-handed pitching. Now we get a pitcher that he is very familiar with. 7 for 19. 2 of those are home runs, a triple and a double to go along with it. So Betts obviously has some good history right here. I think both these guys take care of business. Like you said, when I first said it, it's like, oh, that's a good line. I kind of felt the same way. I felt like I'd be having to pay minus 125, and I think that's probably where it's going to end up by the end of the day. But feeling very good about both these guys to get the job done.
Yeah, no, I might just go right into mine because we're kind of going to talk about the same dude. We're going to talk about kind of the same stuff. And I got a guy in your thing here. I have Benintendi, which I'm going to say almost the exact same thing you said about Mr. Hudson there. But what I'm going to dive into here is just the sheer fact that he's relying so heavily on the changeup, two-seam, sinker mix, right? That's really all he's going to be using. That's how he gets outs. He's just a ground ball guy, very low strikeout rate. Going into Benintendi, dude's top 5% or top 9% in K rate. He only strikes out 13% of the time this year. That's obviously pretty crazy. But looking at the matchup here, sinker and changeup are going to make up a ton of the repertoire here for Hudson. Sinker, he's batting 340. Changeup, he's got an expected batting average of over 300. And also, I think this is a huge game for Benintendi because he's actually moving out of New York. Right, he had all of his games so far since moving over there. He's been 0 for. He's been scoring runs and doing that and taking his walks, but getting out of New York, I think, in this situation is going to help him a ton. They're going to Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. I think obviously that's going to be a nice change of scenery because he's probably feeling the pressure of batting in New York. It's different. It's a different ball game when you go from Kansas City. Obviously, we're going right back to Missouri, though. You're going to St. Louis. So it's a place, obviously, you're probably a little bit more accustomed to. Time difference, right? So I do like the spot quite a bit for Benintendi. I'm hoping he's in like that 6 hole, which is why they're giving me this at a 230 or 225, I think was the line I got on it, which when Benintendi was batting second for the Royals, you were seeing 300 to 320 every single time. And Josiah Gray, obviously, I've been bagging him quite a bit lately. And the strikeout side has been very, very good to me. He had 6, 6, 7, 11, 6, 9 in his last 6. And his stuff has just been fantastic. He's finally getting out of those huge blow-up innings. That was always kind of his issue here. But when we were used to seeing those 4, 3 walk performances, now they're going down to like 2s and being consistently in the 2s, right? Keeping that pitch count a little bit lower. And on the year, man, his slider curveball combo has been wipe out. 45% whiff rate on that slider, 36 on that curveball. And he's facing off against the Phillies team who has a ton of swing and miss. 26% K rate versus righties this year, 26% K rate at home this year. Obviously, you're swinging for the fence every time in that little ballpark there. I expect home runs given up by him, like a lot of them, maybe like 3. But I don't think that means that he's going to have a bad start. We saw him against the Mariners get absolutely blown up, and he still had like 7 or 8 strikeouts. So he has the ability to do stuff like that. Looking into the other guys on the other side, we have quite a few guys with that 25+% whiff rate. You go to Baum at 23, but then you got Hoskins at 26, Schwarber at 30, Real Muto at 24, Marsh at 31, right? There's a lot of guys here. You go to Derek Hall, he's 33%. Right, there's a lot of guys here that are going to be able to swing and miss, and Josiah Gray's got the stuff to do it. So I like the spot quite a bit. It might actually make a little bit more. I might have to put a little bit more on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like the Gray spot right here, I think you said it very well. Even if he's doesn't have his ace stuff, even if it's not a good start, the way he battles through those kind of games is with strikeouts, right? You could very well, if he only goes 4 innings, you could see 6 strikeouts because those may be the only outs he gets. He could strike out Hall 3 times today too, honestly. I think that's a very good matchup for Gray right there. And I think we both agree, Benintendi and LeMahieu, when you think of a guy that can take advantage of a contact pitcher on the Yankees, I think those are the 2 guys that hop into your head first. I mean, obviously Judge, Rizzo, amazing power hitters, Stanton, but when you think of just a guy that can take advantage of a pure contact pitcher, I agree. Benintendi should be, turning things around a little bit right here. Especially, I like that angle, that getting out of New York a little bit, catch his breath in the Midwest, and then reset a little bit and head back. So I definitely like this spot right here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that I looked into too, because like I can't even imagine you're playing games that don't even matter.
Yeah.
You're doing all this, and then you get sent to the Bronx, thrown into a Seattle Mariners series that's pretty big, and then the first 3 games are against your old team that you played for. Like, dude, this is a huge, like take a breath spot here. So let's get on over to Pikkit Sports plays of the day over there. Taylor fade section. I will kick it to you for the first play. I'm going to guess I kind of know where you're going to go with this one.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. For me right here, I'm honestly, I don't know. I'm not very interested in fading the Mets right here. They've been playing good baseball recently. I think they continue to play good baseball right here. So I'm going to tail, I guess. I'm going to tail the public under right here. I'm going to agree with the under 4.5 strikeouts. Like I said, I feel pretty good about the Mets in this spot. They've been playing good baseball recently. And yeah, I'm not really the biggest Anderson guy in the world, right? His numbers, I don't know. They feel a little bit, I don't know. Some of these guys I think are overvalued by market based on playing on good teams and having good box scores at the end of the day. But, sometimes it's not all of them. So I'm going to tail the public right here. We don't often get an under on a Taylor fade public play, but that's what happens when we're up at 8:30 in the morning, right? Some of you guys are getting those DGen unders in at night. So I agree with this one. I like it.
Yeah, I really like the under here quite a bit. Looking at Anderson splits, right? He's a much better guy against lefties. Obviously, the changeup is a reason why. That's his best pitch. But, I mean, let's look at the righties here, right? You're going to see Alonso. You're going to see Starling Marte. You're going to see Canna, right? You're going to see all the guys that are going to strike out the most are going to be on the right side, right? But you go to the lefties, which he's better at striking out, better average against. These lefties are not going to K. You got Lindor, You got Nimmo, you got Guillorme, who freaking makes contact on everything, right? There's really no weak spot, right? When we last show, we were talking about the Orioles. You can take the last 4 dudes, you're going to K them at least twice, right? Here, where is the weak spot for strikeouts here, especially when you're better against lefties? If you're better against righties, I get it. You probably have a few strikeouts here. Alonso will swing and miss. Marte will swing and miss. But this is a very tough spot for him, and the Mets have been playing very good baseball. And it's a huge series, too. So when you're in a big series like this, obviously everything's a little bit more amplified, and I think it leans a little bit more towards the Mets offense here versus Anderson. And then we're up to Dakota Hudson. I will fade this one. I'll be on the under. Kind of talked about it a little bit here. Obviously, he's very, very low strikeout rate, like very, very low. And this is not a team I really want to have a contact pitcher against. No matter what, even if it's not in Yankee Stadium, it's in Yankee Stadium. I'm probably throwing 2 units on this, but I really like the under here just because we're having a guy who's going to pitch to contact. I think it's, what'd you say, like 12 or 13% K rate this year. Yeah. It's going to be really, really tough to navigate this lineup. And I have a feeling he's going to walk quite a few of these dudes because you don't really want to be a part of this Judge spot. You don't want to be in a highlight reel of Rizzo back there, right? Rizzo's played probably 100 games in Busch Stadium, so it's nothing new there. And you got rid of Gallo at the end of the lineup, even though now he's an all-star for the Dodgers already. So, I mean, there's really no swing, really no like let down easy spots here for Hudson to get those easy Ks, right? He's gonna have to work hard. I don't see him getting further than 5 innings.
Yeah, this is tough. I tend to agree with you too. Obviously the Yankees do strike out a good amount, even with obviously all the power they have on that team, right? That's kind of their thing, right? They hit bombs and they strike out. But like we kind of said, Hudson's just not that guy. Maybe if he can get real deep into this game, he can get there. That's kind of Hudson for me, right? You don't really bet his strikeouts unless you count on him getting pretty deep in the game because he's not a strikeout pitcher. So he's going to need more opportunities against the Yankees team. That's just not a bet I'm really willing to take. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to be fading this one and going under also.
Love it. Love it being on the same side here. All right, we got about 25 of you guys in here. Smash that like button. Make sure you drop your questions in here if you have any. We'll try our best to get to it. I know we haven't really broke down every single game just because it is only – I've been up for about only like an hour and a half, and that was even pushing it for your boy here. We're hanging on by a thread this morning, but hopefully we're able to still cash some tickets. And I will kick it over to you for play number 2. rolling into that Mets game we just talked about.
Yep, Starling Marte and Brendan Rodgers both to record a hit right here. -113 over on FanDuel. Let's see. We can start with Rodgers right here. Obviously fading Madison Bumgarner. He's had a, kind of shaky season. I would say nothing really special right here. Slightly worse against right-handed pitching than left-handed. It's not too much of a difference. He's around 270 opponents batting average for both of those. But you do like to see that, righties are obviously doing a little bit better right here. Or wait, sorry. Wait, Mad Bum's the other game. Wait, did I say Rodgers?
I think you were starting with Rodgers, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I got my notes mixed up. I almost went into Marte right there. But yeah, no, Rodgers for me, the big thing with him, what I'm going to do every single time, Rodgers against lefties, right? That is the trend that I've played multiple times this season. I've, talked about in the show, written articles. When you see Rodgers going up against a lefty, that's always the key right there. Hitting 333 against left-handed pitching this season. He's also doing better against right-handed pitching just in general. Obviously 400 over his last 7 games and 280 on the season. That average was sitting in the 250s, for a good amount of this season, but playing very good baseball recently, crushes lefties. And now he's got a good matchup against Mad Bum right here, who he's 2 for 5 against his career. So obviously not the biggest sample size, but I'm just going to continue to trust Rodgers right here. 407 his last 15 games, 333 on the season versus left-handed pitching. It's a solid matchup right here. Mad Bum's not someone I'm scared of anymore. He's not someone I necessarily look to target. He's just kind of middle of the road right here. So I think we get a good advantage spot right here. As for Starling Marte, we talked about it briefly a second ago. Anderson, worse versus right-handed batters by a good amount. 312 opponents batting average versus right-handed batters this season. That's almost 100 points better than he is versus left-handed pitching right here, or left-handed hitting. So obviously gets those lefties out, but when we talk about righties, he's struggling a lot. Thankfully, Marte's coming in with some good recent form right here. 1 hit in 21 of his last 24 games, hitting 326 post All-Star break. Having a good season, almost at 300. If he gets a couple hits in this one, he's at 299 on the season. I'm sure he wants to see that number flip to a nice clean 3 right here, hitting 412 versus Atlanta on the season. Obviously had some good success against Atlanta this year. I think both these guys take care of business. -113 over on FanDuel.
Yeah, no, I love Marte today. He's in quite a few of my other things. Obviously, Rodgers has been swinging a hot bat. Hit that home run yesterday, or was it yesterday, or was it the day before? He hit that homer dead center. It was like 420 center field. Obviously, when you're seeing the ball that well, and now you get to take a huge downgrade in pitching, right? You just went from facing the Padres starters and Blake Snell and Musgrove and all those guys to a huge step back in facing Bumgarner there. So do like that spot and that look there. I don't have to say much about Marte. I love that guy. He's been very, very good to us. Let's go to my second one here. And I really like this spot. We're going Cease with Yelich. All right, let's just get this out of the way. I hope that from yesterday gets his ass thrown out. That man is an absolute bum. Absolute bum. I hope that the MLB would just have like a replacement up in the back and just be like, all right, you suck, get out. Just like you're going to toss this guy. Like you can't toss him after you fuck up 4 times, dude. You fucked up 4 times in the inning and then messed up the next couple pitches for Woodruff in the next inning. So obviously they're going to be upset. You pretty much ruined the game. So Yelich got tossed, obviously, yesterday. I don't think much of it. Both of his strikeouts were pretty bad. Like, they weren't even close. There was 2 pitches missed in both of those ABs that would have resulted in him being up in the count, right? I don't have to talk much about Yelich. I've talked about him in quite a few of these other ones. But we are moving back home. He's got a 116 WRC plus at American Family Field. Facing off against Robert Duggar. I looked a little bit into it. He's got a pretty decent strikeout rate. Along with ground ball rate, but he's a reliever, right? There's no data that he will be able to start and be a competent starter, right? He doesn't have that ability. When he was in prior to this, he had a 6.97 ERA before this year. Even though he has a decent ERA, he's got a 306 batting average allowed, a 449 slugging allowed, and even when you go into it a little bit deeper, a 310 batting average allowed to lefties, and that's just out of the pen. That's when you have your best stuff. That's when you only have to throw 1 inning. Now you're going to make them start. What am I going to expect here? His Fangraphs rating on his fastball is nowhere where I would want to be facing this team, especially at home with the Brewers. They're pissed. They're coming out. They need to sweep. He's got a 30 ranked fastball. He's got a good slider curveball combo, but you have to get it. You have to make these guys respect your fastball. And if you're only bringing it, you have a 30 rank out of 80 fastball. It's just not something that I want to be messing around with in a small hitter's ballpark with probably the best batter's eye in the MLB. This is not a spot I want to be. And now you have Dylan Cease, who's just an absolute tank. I don't know how much longer they're going to have him ride, to be honest. I think that they're probably going to have an innings cap, so I'm sure he probably knows that too. So he's going to go out every single time. And he wants to lead the MLB in Ks. He took over McClanahan. He's now number one. McClanahan, he knows, going to have a hard cap on him. But I'm looking at this matchup here, and I love everything I see about it. We have the Texas Rangers, who bet only 237 at home this year. Dylan Cease has been a revelation this year, and I think the biggest thing that I saw was just the ability for him to locate the slider.
Yep.
That slider has gotten a 15% boost in usage this year. He's using it more than his four-seam fastball, which is touching. He's getting close to 100. He's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's still using that slider a little bit more, which I was extremely surprised when I looked into. He's 42% slider, 39% fastball, and this curveball is obviously extremely good as well. But that slider with almost a 50% whiff rate, 31% put away percentage. It only has a 133 expected batting average. And the scariest part of looking at Cease's numbers this year is every single one of his pitches has a lower expected batting average than it actually is. So that means he's actually getting unlucky, and he's still having this type of a season. That's what's even more scary, because now you're facing a Texas Rangers team, 26% K rate at home. And Dylan Cease actually is better on the road, dude. It's actually kind of crazy. On the road this year, 30% K rate, which is a little bit lower than his home K rate. But he's also only has a 1.3 road ERA. That's unreal. His expected ERA is still only a 2. So, man, dude, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to stay away from Dylan Cease today? He's going to be the chalk. I'm sure he is. I'm sure people are betting him in other different ways. The thing is with Cease is that when I'm looking at Plus Money Bob here dropping this ERA line, and I like it. It's just when you have a guy with this elite of stuff, I just get worried with home runs, right? Because he's just so confident in his stuff to put it over the plate that you still have the top of this order that's extremely dangerous. You have a ton of right-handed power where 7 of his home runs have been allowed to righties. It's just, I mean, you got Adolis in here. You got Nate Lowe who's swinging a hot bat. You have a lot of guys who swing the hot bat, but they will K, right? So that's why I'm always worried with these earned runs. They just scare me. I don't know if I've touched one since I've seen it. I think the only time I'll ever touch is like 2.5 or 3.5, taking the under, or if it's Antonio Sensatella because the guy's a can. But I really, really like this one as well. I think Yelich comes back with a vengeance here after that crap.
Yeah, no, I like this combo right here. I agree with you on the Yelich spot. I mean, obviously, a lot of us had him yesterday, and that was kind of a brutal.
Austin Riley. Remember from Austin Riley last week. Exact same thing. Everybody was on him, and then the next day he cooks.
Oh, yeah.
It was the exact same. I literally thought about that, and I was going to text you about it. I'm like, do you remember we all on Austin Riley and he had that 2 lineouts? Now we have this guy K on 2 random things and then get tossed. Like, the books have to make their money back, and the amount of people on Yelich yesterday was crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, though. I think Yelich is in a good bounce-back spot. It's always nice to kind of play a guy the day after when the public's mad at him, even though it's not his fault. You know, they just got screwed, and they see his name is the red one, right? And they go, okay, well, fuck this guy. I don't want to deal with this right now. But I agree with you. He's been playing great since the All-Star break, coming in with, good form despite one, game where some, sketchy stuff happened right here. Now, like you said, this is important, right? You can't lose in the fashion they just lost. That whole team's going to be angry right here. I think Brewers just run line even could be a good spot right here. And you went into detail, but Cease absolutely dirty this year. Now in a good matchup versus the Rangers. I love these combo plays right here. I'll definitely be tailing this one.
Yeah, no, and the Cardinals just won 2 last night. I think we're tied for top of the division now, because they just got swept by the Pirates. But they were 7-2 going into that series, now 7-5, so obviously need wins here. So, all right, guys, drop your questions in there. We're going through our quick recap right now. If you're just tuning in, these are going to be our plays so far, and then we'll come up with what we like for our home run parlay.
Oh, yeah. I started out Mookie Betts and DJ LeMahieu to both record a hit right here, minus 112. This one also might need to get bumped up a little bit more, maybe 1.5, 2 units by the end of the day. And then Brendan Rodgers and Starling Marte, both of these guys, once again on FanDuel to record a hit, minus 113 right here. And then, yep, I'm going double unders right here. So I'm tailing right here. I'm tailing Anderson under 4.5 Ks.
Sorry, my screen just froze. So
It's okay. It's okay. The other one was Hudson. Okay, yep, Hudson. And I'm going under right here. So I'm fading the public right here, going under 3.5 strikeouts.
Beautiful. I'm going to roll Josiah Gray with Benintendi here, minus 125. I really do like this spot. I love Cease Yelich. I like this one quite a bit. And I will be rolling with the same as you. I will be on the under and the under. So I do like both unders in this spot here. All right, Monotone, we're to our favorite part here. What are we going with for our home run parlay for you today?
Yeah, man, I feel like I kind of got to go to Mookie Betts right here. I mean, I think that's the game of the day, 100%, right? That's the Dodgers, Padres, reinforcements. My heart tells me Soto right here. I obviously want to see him hit a bomb, but I do like Betts' matchup, like I talked about earlier, obviously. 4 extra base hits against Manaea this season, or in his career, sorry. So I'm going to go Mookie Betts plus 300 to hit a home run.
All right, I'm going to roll Rowdy Tellez today, back at home. Obviously, rakes at home. We've seen him against the Twins. Go Yabo twice on those guys. He's in good form, swinging a good bat, and we're having the guy here doesn't miss too many bats. I love Rowdy today. What is Rowdy at?
He's plus 330 right here.
Woo, I like that.
I kind of like Adames too in this one also. I believe he's hit a home run against Duggar in their like one career matchup against each other. So I like a good amount of Brewers today, actually.
What is that line giving us there?
Yep. Betts and Tellez is 1660 right here. Rowdy and Mookie. Like that. We got good name combo going right here.
Betts Tellez. Let's go, baby. I do like that spot quite a bit. Obviously, 17-1. Oh, yeah. It's like betting a freaking golfer to win the whole tournament. I only need 2 guys to swing a bat one time, get me that same money. All right, Mono, we just finished up. Everything's good. We're making great time on our Friday show here. What do you got for the people here before we head out to the weekend?
Yeah, I think this is by far the best slate of the week right here. So obviously both of us are going to have a lot of plays today, not just over on here. I know you've got a Pine article. I've got a Vegas Insider article. So if you want all the plays, you're obviously going to have to go check us both out on Twitter. Make sure to see all our other stuff. If you want another place to follow us, make sure to go check out Pikkit Sports too, right? Completely free app. They have the bet tracker. When you sign up and use code PTP, they'll send you between $3 and $100. You have to do absolutely nothing to get that. Pretty good deal if you ask me right there. Any chance I have for $100, I'm going to take that chance. And obviously that's where we get our Taylor fade from. And it's, 8:30 in the morning. So the most popular plays of the day will change over the course of the day. You obviously want those updated numbers, not just the 8:30 numbers. So make sure to go, you can do it yourself over there. You can Taylor fade whatever you want. You know what I mean? So good opportunity right there. Code PTP over on Pikkit. Make sure to check it out.
For sure. And, just heading into the weekend, make sure you guys are being smart, betting on the games that you feel you have the edge on, because there's a lot of games this weekend, a lot of very good games too. So There's really tough to find edges in some of these spots. So just be smart. Make sure you guys are finding the best bets that you guys want. And like I always say, myself and Stu's DMs are always open if you guys need anything over here. So you guys have a good weekend. Best of luck on all your bets. Smash that like button on the way out, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you Monday, 10:30. Have a good one, guys.